The next presenter is going to be Mary Niederlehner. Is she here? Yes, thank you. Come in. And Katie Gennosa. So Katie Gennosa is from 8 Mountain ICU, and Mary is from 7 South CCU. And I want to show you how to work this one. So you're going to click on your presentation, and then you can either click on the mouse or click enter here.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you. All right, so we're going to talk about bedside handoff. And originally, I was working as a nurse in CCU, and how this all started is I took over for a patient, and we did not do bedside handoff. I got report at the desk, and I went in to check on my patient and to check on the drips, and noticed that the patient was supposed to have Protonix infusing, and actually the bag that was hanging was norepinephrine. And so the patient had a pressor that had been infusing, and the channel was programmed for Protonix, but it was actually a pressor that had been running in the patient all night. And my concern was that's a patient safety issue, and if we had done bedside handoff, I would have caught it probably 30 minutes earlier, and also that would have helped be a learning opportunity for that nurse that had passed off handoff from. So I met with Kim Carter and discussed the issues, and we looked at the evidence and developed a team and decided that bedside handoff was the best thing for our facility to go to. So what is bedside handoff?
So what bedside handoff is nurses, when they're giving a report, doing it directly at the bedside, so that we can enable patients and their families to be directly participating in bedside handoff, understanding what it is that we're talking about when we give report. And it is also a way for us to help increase our HCAP scores, patient satisfaction scores, by helping families and patients feel like they're active participants in the plan of care for their patient, improving their understanding of what the plan of care is, engaging them, helping them make goals with us rather than us telling them this is the goals that we formulated for you. And then also an important thing too, especially in light of HCAPS, is for us to look at the environment together of the room and hold each other accountable for things like labeling tubing and making sure we have the right supplies in the room, and things like Katie said, checking our drips together, little things like that where you can catch misses.
So what are the benefits of bedside handoff, and who is our villain? So one of the main villains that we see here is miscommunication. And that's miscommunication between us and our patients, and also miscommunication between us and our coworkers. So we can improve that by going to the bedside and being right there with our patient and our coworker. So evidence that's available for bedside handoff is the AIDIT, and this is written by Quint Suter, who has done a lot of, actually writes to improve HCAP scores. So we have based our mnemonic that we'll talk about here in just a little while off of this AIDIT here. There's also a lot of literature, and bedside handoff is supported by the AACN, the Joint Commission, and we have also done research with over 21 articles that support bedside handoff. It also supports our core values here at Carilion. So with community, it promotes a perception of strong communication and consistency with our patients and our families. It promotes teamwork. For courage, it improves our patient safety and promotes accountability. Compassion, we're including our patient in their plan of care. And it really shows us trying to engage our patients and our families. Commitment, it shows that we're committed to improving our patient satisfaction and our HCAP scores. And curiosity, it's identified as best practice, and we want to make sure that we're doing the best thing for our patients.
So the mnemonic that we developed for use here at Carilion that is based on evidence-based practice as well as the AIDIT model is "We Care." The "we" is welcome. When you go in the room, you are welcoming the patient, thanking them for the opportunity to care for them, engaging them by introducing yourself or the oncoming nurse, telling them how long you're going to be there, and being enthusiastic. Like, this is Katie. She's a great nurse. She's going to take great care of you. The care part starts with the C for catheters, central lines, tubes, drains, kind of etc. Technical devices that you definitely want to look at with the oncoming or offgoing staff. Things like checking your IV drips and tracing the line to the patient, making sure you know what you actually have going on physically with your patient. The A is for assessing specifics. More like assessment findings, discussing kind of highlights from your head to toe assessment of the patient. R is for reiterating your goals with the patient and the family, helping engage them in what the plan of care, short-term and long-term, is for the shift and the whole stay. And E is the environment, as I noted earlier, where we're holding each other accountable for the environment that the patient's in, making sure they feel like they're in a clean and safe environment, but also having accountability with the other members of the staff in terms of supplies, equipment, whether things are dated correctly. And we have our exclamation point to remind us of being courteous, compassionate, and being consistent. And again, this is developed so that we can have consistency among our reporting. So again, our model is based on AIDIT, which is an evidence-based practice model that was developed. And it also helps collaborate. It helps for nurses to collaborate together, individualize our patient care, and like we said, consistency is kind of the goal here for using this model. So in the future, we're hoping to roll this out as a Carilion-wide handoff tool. And it encompasses our Carilion values. It's also evidence-based. And we want patients to feel empowered, as well as their families to feel empowered and feel like they're participating and they really understand what our plan of care for them is.
So other things you can expect amongst everybody in Carilion is change grieving. So anytime we make a big change, we're going to experience something like change grieving, which is similar to a loss that we feel when you lose a loved one. So bedside handoff is going to be a big change for a lot of people. Some units are trying it out right now, and some units aren't, but we need to support each other, talk about it, make sure that we're being positive about the change with each other. And I think the best thing that we can do, managers and finding leadership that are very supportive in the bedside handoff to help facilitate it on all of the units.
We are in meetings for the handoff team, working closely with people to develop epics so that it fits our We Care, so that nurses will have a page in Epic where they're able to pull it up and it kind of coincides with the We Care model to facilitate people actually using it and for the workflow of actual use. And there is a lot of nursing participation in that committee, and we welcome feedback as people are starting to use this. Let us know how we can improve it.
So things we're going to do now, just making sure that you're talking about it on your unit so people know that it's coming. We're making sure as managers, leaders, kind of coming down through there, letting everybody know that we're going to bedside handoff, making sure that we're open to getting any concerns from our team members. You can bring those concerns to Mary or I, to Kim Carter, part of our team. You can email them to us or anything you want to do there. And we're going to make sure we get our leadership on board, preceptors, team leaders, any staff that is very supportive of this to make sure that they can help us roll this out.
So we will be doing surveys to help gather information from people that are actually doing it and get some feedback from them. There's going to be a video from our CNO about it, so that people will be getting more education on it, and then competencies will be developed for it as well.
And we also, once this goes live, we want to make sure that everyone knows there's going to be a sustainment program for the next 18 months after that. Any questions?
So who you're collaborating with to have it on Epic?
There is a member from the EPIC team that sits on our meeting. We have weekly meetings, and there's a member that comes in each week to meet with us. And they are working on using the current Handoff summary tool and revamping that to be more user-friendly for nurses.
Excuse me, I know that this is mainly for on the inpatient side, but how can we, or what will those procedural areas include?
For the procedural areas, we are working, I know you are sitting on our team as well. There are people from the procedural areas that are sitting on the team to make sure that we're including them. And there's going to be a phase 2 rollout that's going to include procedural areas. So we are working on those as well. So the first rollout is going to be with our inpatient units, our emergency department, and our second phase rollout is going to be with our procedural areas to make sure that they're included and we're getting safely getting handoff for them as well.
And then also the CNA, the nursing assistant handoff, and I know a lot of them are already doing it, but we're going to look at standardizing that as well. And we haven't even looked at pre-ED and discharge out handoffs, but that's coming. So this is a multi